Hey, my name is Alex, and I wanted to introduce you to Tactical Arbitrage, the software. So I've got a few of these videos to make, so they're not going to be perfect because it's better that I get all these instructional videos out as soon as possible because a lot of people are wondering exactly how it all works. So let's just take a look at the screen here. I'm going to head into my membership portal to the main script. Now, I should just say that the review script is a standalone piece of software, but the main script incorporates the review script as well. So there's two levels. One's a small tool, and one is the main tool, which actually incorporates the review script as well. Today, we're just going to look at the main script. Okay, so this is the dashboard, the product search dashboard. So up here we've got the list of websites that you can choose to source from, and at the moment I think we've got about 30 or possibly 40 in here, and we are adding more all the time. So we may decide to choose Target, for example. Now down here is your category, and for many sites like you'll require a URL, and you can see over here there's category examples. So when you're searching on drugstore, you'll find the entire URL which looks like this, and that's what you'll use in the category. Or if you're over here on Best Buy, you're looking for a URL like this to insert here. Now Target is a bit of an anomaly. It's more hard-coded into the system, and you can have a look at these sort of categories just so that you know what I mean. If we go to say baby toys, for example, you'll see here, well, we're looking for these digits here. So in this URL here, it would be those digits there. So 54WLM is what we would put here. Now, start page and last page. This is very simple. Start page 1, end page 5, for example. And you can change this. You might do a scan and think, wow, that was quite good. I might want to do a few more from that category. And so you might go pages 6 to page 9. Or you may feel like scraping a very large category and doing, say, page 1 to 100 if there's that many products. Now, you can see over here that it'll tell you roughly how many products are shown per page. And so therefore, if it says on here that there's 500 products, for instance, so 1 to 60 or 524, 10 pages is going to cover that. Actually, 9 pages will cover that. In fact, it says right there, page 1 of 9, so that's nice and easy. So you would just go page 1 to page 9. All right, now, it's not uncommon for there to be a coupon code at some of these sites, maybe not always Target, but certain times of year, sure. And that the coupon code might be reduce the entire store by 15%. It's a sort of coupon that Kohl's often has, 15% off the entire store if you use a certain coupon. So you want to adjust that in your price so that your return on investment is actually calculated correctly. Now you might also be using a cashback site like Ebates or Doubly. The VIP Doubly is one of my favorites, and it gives you one of the highest returns. So I'll just go. Something's going on outside. So sometimes that will be about 7%, and you'll check your cashback site for the correct percentage before you start. Now, depending on the category that you're looking to scrape, you want to have a rough idea of what ranks start to become not that good and eliminate those products. Obviously, we don't want any unranked products, and we may not want anything over, say, 200,000 in toys. Ideally, we want less than that, but let's have a look at anything up to 200,000. We might not want any products with more than 50 sellers on Amazon. I mean, some products you can still sell really well with lots of sellers, but as a rule, you might want to reduce that. So 50 sellers. Oversized products. If there's enough margin in it, then you can certainly incorporate it into your calculations. but you may want to eliminate oversized products. Some people choose to. That's very simple. You just basically detects on Amazon if the product's oversized and it removes it from the results. Now, out of stock products. This does not work on all sites so far, but some sites like Target, for example, clearly say out of stock on the page. Now, you may decide to leave the out of stock products box unticked because you might find some viable products and then do searches to see if they're actually available in your local store and then just go for a drive to find them. But if you're just going to do online arbitrage and you don't want to stuff around with false results because of out of stock products, then certainly for Target this works so far. I believe we've also got it set up for Walmart so far as well. And there's a few other sites like Woot, which can often show you if a product's out of stock. And we'll be integrating more of the out of stock all the time. In fact, I may put a little note here before we launch just to say currently this is only working for, say, Target and Walmart. And, over time we'll be adding more. But at the moment, sure, that works for Target. So get Amazon lowest price. This isn't necessary, but it is an extra feature if you want to add all the additional keys. So in your merchant seller account, there's a merchant AWS. And if you can get the merchant ID, the AWS access key ID, and the AWS access secret key, then you are able to activate this feature as well. You can also not use this feature if you just want to, get on with things using only the product advertising keys that we do need. So what does it do? The Get Amazon Lowest Price feature will detect if the buy box is not owned by Amazon or a FBA seller, and so like say it's an MF seller, and the software in general without this ticked will still do that, but with this ticked, it'll also work out what the shipping price is on the MF seller. So let's say it's $18 plus $3.75 shipping. It's going to find that $3.75 and add it to the $18 to get $21.75. So it's a feature that maybe you can add later if you don't want to use it straight away. If you just want to sink your teeth into the software, don't agonize over this setting because obviously not that many products you're going to come across which have no Amazon or FBA sellers, and even the MF sellers sometimes have free shipping. So the percentage of times that you're going to need this one setting and the hoop that you have to jump through to actually activate this setting, you may decide to add it later. I have, however, found it extremely useful, especially in things like beauty products and health products, because often that's where you'll start to see these third-party sellers who have got an extra $7.30 postage on top. And then you can really start to get a better idea of whether your ROI is going to be worthwhile in the end. So for now, I'm going to leave this one unticked. Now, you may not want to bugger around with any Amazon priced products of less than $15. You might say, I only go for products over $25, and that's where this filter comes in. You can just remove products with an Amazon price of less than, say, $15. Now, this setting here came about because every time I'd scan beauty items from, say, Target or anywhere, the matching of the UPC would be accurate with Amazon, but it would often be for like a bundle or a set of, or a 3-pack of shampoos or a 3-pack of conditioners, or a 6 count of this or a bundle of that, and I'd be getting all these like false positives and going, oh wow, that's great, that one's got a 200% ROI, and then I'd drill down into it and find out that it wasn't a 200% ROI at all. In fact, it was 2 products, and if I did the maths, it was going to be less than profitable altogether. So I thought, if we just put in here that we want to avoid any words like pack. Here's one I did earlier. Pack, bundle, set, count. CT often comes up for count. Then every time Amazon sees one of these words in the description at their end, every time the software sees one of these words in Amazon's description at their end, they'll eliminate that from the results. Okay, so this is a filtering process. So at the end of the day, all that we're seeing is as close to viable products for us to start matching manually as possible. Because the less time we need to spend going through and comparing products and making sure everything's a proper match, the more time we can spend just buying, listing, spending time with family, and just relaxing, So this next section here, remove from title search on Amazon. This is born about because sometimes on a website like Kohl's, for instance, you get bad matches with, say, shoes, or bad matches with clothes. And often the reason for these bad matches are things like, it might say women's new Asics, type shoes, or there's a certain brand of shoes. And it's those little words at the start that when you do a search on Google, you realize that the words that you put at the very beginning of the search are going to translate into the most popular search results. So the way the software works is this. First, it's going to check and see if there's a UPC, because a UPC match is going to be as close as possible to an accurate match, and that'll be awesome. But not every site has a UPC. In fact, a lot of sites don't. So we want to get that title match as close as possible. So sometimes we want to eliminate a word from the title. So eliminate a word like new, or men's, or women's, or men's with an apostrophe. So often you'll have a look at the category that you're going to be working with. You'll see if a site's got a certain thing, like some of them just list a certain way, and there might be this word that just keeps on getting in the way, and it's actually messing up your results. So in that particular instance, and it is usually for clothes and shoes, you can remove a few things like men's and women's, and it'll just give you that slightly higher % chance of getting an accurate result. Now the next thing we want to do is an FBA return. So what we do is we go like this. We look at the price on, say, I'm going to keep using Target as an example. Obviously there's your own stores that you prefer to source from, but in this example I'm going to say Target. So on Target it's $10 to buy, right? Maybe it's $10 after the adjustments. So it was $11.50, and then we reduced 15%, reduced 7%. Anyway, it ends up around $10. Now, at Amazon, it's $17. So that would be a 1.7 times multiplier. Now, there's a pretty good chance that that's not going to be a worthwhile buy. But in a higher priced item, maybe $100 to $170, then, especially if it's maybe a piece of electronics and Amazon takes a bit less. So there might be a reason to have a look at these items. So I normally set this myself personally for about 1.7, even though often that means that I'm searching for things that aren't going to quite fit the bill at the end of the day. You can set it a bit higher if you want, but I like to sort of see some results and then eliminate the ones that are no good. Anyway, that's a stage 1 filter, because what we then do is we add in a few extra things. Sometimes if you're using a prep house, you might want to say the cost to prep per standard product might be $1. It might be just a flat $1. And they might say at your prep house, it's $2. Or you might be doing all the prepping yourself at home, and you've done the maths yourself, and you know that prepping at home or by yourself is only really working out to about 25 cents each. Including for oversized, because you're doing it all yourself and you're using a bit of packing tape and a cardboard box, and maybe you're using the same cardboard box you received stuff from Amazon in, or received stuff from your store and just sort of repackaging it a bit, and you've been able to bring those costs down. But particularly if you're using a prep house, you're going to probably want to insert these so that you get a more accurate return on investment calculation when we get down to this second filter stage. So then we're going to have a look at, see, I've removed oversized products. So in this case, I'm not even going to put in a cost to prep per oversized product. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of guesswork, but it's good to have something in here. It's the cost per pound to ship to Amazon. So I sort of find as a rule that my cost to ship to Amazon is about 80 cents a pound. Okay, it's different with oversized products, but as a rule, around about $1 or less per pound. So if you just want to have a pretty good guide in there, just so that it helps give you an accurate gross return on investment, then put a figure in there. Lastly, this says only keep the data if the gross return on investment is at least a certain amount. So once all these filters have been done, bang, 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 at the end, in the back end of the software, it's basically spat out, well, there's actually a gross return on investment of 19% here. But you've got this set for 20%, so it doesn't bother showing you that. So you might have it set for I don't really want to look at anything that I'm not getting a gross return on investment of at least 35%. And even then, the rank's got to be good. So you can be as harsh or as soft on the software as you like. You might be more than happy with 15% ROIs if if there's only one other seller and the rank's super low, and that you're going to get you can just turn over heaps and heaps of them. So everybody's different. Everybody's got their own rules and regulations on where they will set their benchmarks. But at the end of the day, the software is going to show you anything higher than what you put here. All right. The other buttons to know on this page are delete old data. So if you've got something in there already, you can delete that. You can download it as a CSV. Some people like to make Gumroad lists, for example. You could start a little business operating this software, downloading the data, and then re-uploading it as a Gumroad list, and then selling that to a few people. Completely up to you. Nothing at all to stop you from doing that with this software. And certainly, I'm not placing anything in my terms and conditions to say that you can't do that. View the data is a page we're going to go to next. So what you'll do here is, once you've got all that going, you'll hit submit. So I want to show you what that does if I hit submit, but at the same time I already have some data on the view data page, so I'm going to start a second video, because that one's 18 minutes now, to show you the view data page. Actually, let me hit submit, because it's only going to add it on to the other items I've already got there, just so you can see what happens here. And then we've had a look at the product search page. All right, so it gives us some information here we can work with. So we've got a running process. Okay, we're looking at this category from pages 1 to 9. Now, after a second, it says, well, 9 times 60 is 540. We're currently looking at product number 2. Now, we've already skipped a filter for count. We skipped a number of sellers filter. We skipped a rank. We've skipped a rank filter. The Amazon price was out. So what it does is it goes through and it looks, see, this one was out of stock. So it's doing all of our work for us. It's going through and scanning all these 540 items just to find something that might fit the bill. It's matching UPCs in the background. And one by one, it's sorting out what we don't want. There's an oversized filter, and it's only going to end up showing us what we do want. Now, you might go through 540 items and find that there wasn't really anything there that you wanted, but it saved you looking at 540 items. The other day, I had a look at a category in Toys R Us, and my page just filled up with potential purchases. So I'll see if anything's shown up here yet. Here we go, we've got one. So this one here fits the bill. And we can see that in the view data page in a moment. So it's finding us items that we can buy, and we've got all these sites we can look at. Oh, I forgot something. Sorry, I told you we've got to pump these videos out and I can't do things twice, so I apologize to keep on digressing. But before I can leave this page, I need to show you something. So I'm going to stop this process, and it's this little X button here. Can just stop it. Okay, now that's actually refresh this. I've got a button here called planned updates. So every time I operate the software or I get feedback from people, I keep tweaking it with my developers. So I might like, for instance, to stop that, but still have all these filters and everything in place, so that if I wanted to, I can maybe continue the scan, or you know. So there's a few little things like this that keep on popping up, and I can tell you it's always evolving. We'll always be adding new sites, and this planned updates page is not only going to be dictated by the different things that I come up with, and we've got some amazing things in the works that aren't even making it to launch, but within a couple of weeks are going to be added to the site. It'll also come from the support tab. If you've got any ideas or you want a site added, just send them in. I'll look at what's possible. I'll speak to my developers. I've got full-time developers, and we'll just keep on evolving, keep on growing, and the subscription price doesn't change. But you know, the initial subscription price is going to stay nice and low. It may pop up a little bit over time, but anybody who comes in at the very early days are going to be grandfathered at that price, and so that won't ever go up. So I'm excited about this software because it gives me amazing results, and I've decided to share it with the world. And the best way to share it is to add as many of these sites as possible and have it functioning as well as possible with as many features as possible. So let me just show you this last thing. It's called Use Bulk, right? And we would upload a new file, and it shows you how to upload the file. So you need a CSV, and in the top left box you've got category, start page, last page. Now down here you'll enter all of the different categories, and then you might want to go from page 1 to 10 on category 5XT87, and from pages 2 to 15 on the next category, and so on. So if you've got to go out for the whole day, why not set it to do a bulk scan of 10 categories with 20 pages on each, and you know, make your filters really strict, and then head off for the day, and then come back and go, well, there's my buy list for the day. Now, the one thing that this is currently set for, which I would be interested in evolving as well, is you set this for one store. So you might do this all for Target. So over time we might have this so that it starts doing 3 or 4 categories on Target, and then you've got a few Walmart categories in here as well. And it's a simple bit of code we haven't added yet. It's just gonna need you know, an extra day or so with the developers. But at launch you've got this, and as I said, everything's evolving all the time, and the more I look at it, the more things that I see that could be enhanced. And I hope you see things too, and I hope you keep the lines of communication open, if not here, on the Facebook group. And everything that gets sent to me, I cut and paste to my developers, we discuss. And because, I mean, this is for all of us. This is for us to grow together. And like I said, I'm excited about it, but I'll stop the video there, and I'll come back with a second video about viewing data.